If you have an existing QGIS project that also has photos or images in it, in this video, I will show you how to upload this project with images or photos in QField Cloud, how to collect more data and photos in QField app, and how to synchronize your changes from QGIS. Point vector layer, that is the observation point. This point layer has a relationship with this table observations, which allow us to collect one or more photos. You can find all the steps of how to create a relationship and how to set it up to collect one or more photos in my video of QField with QField photos, and I will leave you the link here. I also have this polygon layer, which is called study areas. This layer also has some data, in this case, just 3 polygons. But today I'm going to show you how to add a new field and use this field to collect an image. In this case, will be only one photo or image per record or per polygon. I'm going to open now the observation point attribute table, to right click and then open attribute table. So there is some existing data and I have a relationship with this table of observations. So if I change my view to form view, I can see the related records. And for example, in this point observation, I have a photo of a crow. And then if I do click on another of my records, I can see that I have photos of, in this case, of coyote and other birds. So all these photos are stored locally in my computer right now. So this project's still in my computer, not in QField Cloud. And then I'm going to show you exactly how it looks in my computer. These photos are in my computer, in this case in OneDrive, but you can have them locally. And I have the photos here, and I also have this subfolder that I'm going to mention soon, because the photos from this folder are going to go into the study areas polygon layer. So all this is existing data. I'm going to go back to QGIS. And as I mentioned, I'm going to show you how the configuration have been done in this table. So if I go to properties, right click properties, and then I select attribute form. So I have it all set up already. It's a drag and drop designer. Again, please watch my video about QField and how to configure photos to be used in QField app. So here I have a path photo, and this is the field that collects those images or photos, and it is the widget type is an attachment, and I have the default path, which is the one that I just showed you, the folder from my computer, and then the store path is set as relative to project path, and then we have the integrated document viewer as an image. I'm gonna do the same in the polygon layer, but we need to add the field first. I just wanted to show you this, and then I'm gonna click OK. And now I'm going to open the attribute table, the study areas. And I'm going to change this view to the table view. So here we see the fields that I have in this polygon layer, and I don't have a field where I can collect images or photos. So I'm going to add that. To do that, I'm going to start the editing mode. I do click on this pencil. And now I can see that other tools are available. So this one with the yellow plus sign is add a new field to my layer. So I click there, and I'm going to call it polygon. The type of this field is going to be text, and I'm going to have a length of 100, which is the same as the length that I have for the path photo or photos in the table of observations. I can also add an alias, and just going to call it the same, and then I click OK. Now I'm going to save this change, and I'm going to disable editing. So I have now the field for this photo or images, but I cannot add any photos yet. I need to do the configuration or the setup in the attribute form. So I'm going to close the attribute table, and I'm going to open the attribute form for the study areas. I do right click, and then I go to properties, attribute form, and then I'm going to change the attribute form from auto generate to drag and drop designer. And here I can add the fields that I want to see in my form with the fields that you're going to see in your form in QField app. So I just select and drag, and this is the photo field that I just added. I'm not going to do anything with the other fields. I'm just gonna go directly to the photo field that I just added. So, and if we remember what I just showed you from the observations table, we need to change the widget type now to attachment. And I'm gonna leave the storage type as select existing file. And the default in this case, I want to use that subfolder that I showed you earlier. So I'm gonna do click on the three dots. And then this is the main folder, the parent folder that is called DCIM. And then I'm gonna use the one from this second folder for this vector layer or for this polygon layer. I'm gonna change the store path to relative to project path. And I'm going to change the type of integrated document viewer to image. And that's all. Now I'm gonna do click on apply and okay. So something very important, when you are using this project to upload it to QField Cloud and then use it in QField app, and you are using images or photos, it's important that you have this folder DCIM, because if you are in a completely new project, QField is going to create that folder automatically. You add a completely new photo in the QField app, and then you sync it back to QGIS. In this case, we're gonna have the folder created before we actually go on the field, because we already have this existing data. So I'm gonna go back to my folder, my local folder with the folder DCIM. This is basically where I have all my files for this project, and also I recommend you to have all the files for the project that you're working on in one location. Then have this DCIM folder in this location, and I just added the second subfolder. That way I can have the photos for each of these layers in a separate folder. But it's important to have this main DCIM folder as a parent folder. Okay, so now back here in QGIS, so I have now the field set up to be able to collect photos, but I'm gonna add one photo for each of these three polygons before I upload it to QField Cloud. So I'm going to open again the attribute table, and I'm gonna enable editing by clicking on the pencil. And now if I click on one of these fields, you can see the browser. And I'm going to go to this folder. And I have, this one is Norwest, so I have Norwest here. Double click, and I'm gonna do the same for the other two. Click on the browser. And the last one is the Southeast. And now I have my photos in here. I'm gonna save these changes, and I'm gonna disable editing. Now we can see a little bit of the path of this photo, right? It's telling me that these photos are in the second subfolder, and I'm gonna save my project. Okay, so now I have this project ready to upload to QField Cloud. I have the point layer with a table, I have records and have also images, and I have the polygon layer, study areas, with 3 polygons and photos in each of them. Now, in order to upload this project to QField Cloud, we need to use the plugin QField Sync. If you haven't downloaded it yet, you can go to the plugin sections here and then select manage and install plugins. And if you haven't installed it yet, you can go to the non-install section and look for QField Sync. In my case, I already have it installed, but you're going to look for this plugin. And after you install it, you can close this window. In my computer, in my screen, QField Sync, it is here on the top right. And first, we're going to open the Configure Current Project tool. And here, I'm just gonna make sure that I have my base map selected, Google Satellite, and now I'm gonna go to the cable packaging. And here I can see my 2 layers and the table. So now here you can leave the package in action as offline editing, or you can also change it to copy. Either way is gonna work. If you're working with collaborators, more than one person is gonna be using this project, I would recommend you leave it in offline editing. If it's only you, you can change it to copy. In this case, I'm just gonna leave it as offline editing. And now I'm gonna click on the configuration tool for the study areas and also for the table, because this layer and this table can collect photos. So basically general settings are the same, but something that I wanted to show you is the attachment settings. It's important to double check that you are using the correct path. I did change the directory path for the study areas in my attribute form, but I didn't recognize it here because right now it will put these photos in the main parent folder and not in the subfolder. So I'm gonna just manually add DCIM2, and now it will place these photos after they are synced back to QField Cloud and open. And when I open it in QGIS, it will put it in the DCIM2 folder. Something else that if you notice here, you can set the naming of your photos. Right now, it's gonna add like study areas to each of these photos, and then it's going to add date like now, and it will put the year first, month, date, hours, and seconds. You can change that if you want. I'm gonna leave it like that, but what I'm gonna change is, since I have my org photo says prairie, so I'm gonna just call it prairie here. Okay, and now I'm gonna click apply and okay. And now if I go to the table at the table of observations configuration, I'm gonna see the same. And in this case, that it's okay that my photos are going directly to the main parent folder. So I'm just gonna click apply and okay. And now apply and okay. And I'm gonna save my project and I'm ready to upload it to QField Cloud and then open it in QField app. So I'm gonna go back to QField Sync. And in this case, I'm going to click on the QField Cloud Projects Overview. I'm going to enter my username and password. If you haven't created your QField Cloud account, you can click on register account. If you need more information, I recommend you watching my video about QField with QField Cloud. I explain there a little more how to create this account. When you have your username and password, come back here and then you can click on sign in. And now to add a new project, I do click on this cloud on the bottom left that says create new project. I'm gonna leave it as the recommended. And I'm just gonna add the name. And I'm gonna do the same in the local directory. I like to keep it the same name. And before I click on create, I wanted to show you that this is going to be the local directory when this project is packaged for QField Cloud. So all your files and your photos are gonna now be in this folder. Okay, so now I'm gonna click on create. And now that my project have been uploaded to QField Cloud, I'm gonna click OK and close this window. Now, before I go to QField app, I can double check that this project have been uploaded to QField Cloud. First thing to notice is the name. So now I have the photo QField tutorial QField 2025, and I know that is in the local directory that have been packaged because it has a parenthesis QField Cloud. If I, let's say, open the attribute table of the study areas, and I switch to form view, I can double check that my photos have been packaged and uploaded. So that's good. And we can also double check going to the local directory where this project and this folder are now saved. Here is the our local directory when your projects are uploaded to QField Cloud. So it creates this project in your computer. and it is a replica of the one that we had in the original project, but make sure you follow the steps that I mentioned, especially for the photos. So here in this package project, we can see the photos and the subfolder. And I just wanted to show you that this is my original project, the one that I used to create this package project. I also have the folder and the subfolder here. So this is now disconnected, so I'm not going to use it for this project anymore after I start using QField. Now I'm going to open QField app and show you how everything looks there and create a polygon, add a photo, and sync it back to QGIS. Okay, so now here on my mobile device, I already installed QField app. If you haven't done it yet, depending on the system that you're using, you may have to go to Google Play and download the application QField app or Apple Store and do the same. When you already have it installed, open it, and if you're using QField Cloud, you're gonna have to enter your credentials, same as what we did when we were in QGIS. And then I'm gonna click on sign in. So now it is loading my current projects that I have in QField Cloud, and I'm gonna find the one that I just uploaded, which is this one, Photos QField Tutorial QField 2025. I select it, and now I click on download project, so it downloads a copy in my mobile device. And now that my project has been downloaded successfully, I'm gonna open it. Okay, so now that I open my project, I can see my layers, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add a polygon and then add a photo into that polygon and then sync it back to QField Cloud and then open it in QGIS. So I click on the three dots on the top left to open my layer list, and I'm gonna select study areas. And I'm going to enable editing by clicking on the pencil on the bottom of my screen. I'll go back to the map, and right now my GPS is off, so basically I'm just forcing drawing this polygon manually, and I'm adding a plus. Every time I add a plus sign, I'm adding one of those vertices. And now that I'm done, I'm gonna click on the check mark, green check mark. I'm gonna call this study at northeast, and now I'm gonna add a photo. I'm just gonna add a photo of my screen. And then I click on the check mark again, and I can see my photo in there. So now I click on the check mark, and if I go back to the layer list, I can see that the cloud is showing that there is one change. It's just a polygon that I just added. So I'm gonna select that cloud, the blue cloud, and I'm gonna click on synchronize. And now that my project is in QField Cloud, I'm gonna go back to QGIS. Okay, now here in QGIS, I need to make sure I have my project that was packaged for QField Cloud open. So double check that it's the correct name, and also make sure it's the one that has the parentheses with QField Cloud. I'm gonna go back to my plugin QField Sync, and now I can see the synchronized current cloud project is available because we have changes. It's recognizing that there is changes in the cloud. So I'm gonna select it. If you need to enter your credentials, do it again. And now I can immediately recognize that there's a photo in here and that was added to that subfolder. So I'm gonna leave the items on the action or cloud action checked, and now I'm gonna click in perform actions. And now that the transfer have been successfully finished, I click OK. Now I can see the polygon that I just created. If I open the attribute table, right click, open attribute table, I just want to double check that the photo had been successfully transferred to. So I can see the photo in there. I can also see the path, and I can go into my folder, that one that it's the one that have been packaged. So this is the one that it have been packaged for QField Cloud. If I go to the DCIM2 folder that I created, I can see that photo in here too. And also the name. Notice the name. Prairie, with the year and date. One more thing that I wanted to mention before I finish this video. It is about the size of the pictures. And I mentioned it in one of my other videos, but I wanted to mention it in this video too. And really quick, if I go back to QField Sync and I click on the configure current project, and here I go to the attachments and directories. So you can see the two folders are shown here as attachments. If this hasn't been added, you can add it. But what I wanted to show you is here, the maximum allowed width or height in pixels of these images can be changed. Right now, there's no restriction, so my pictures could be very large, but you can reduce it if you want to. Let's say you want only to collect photos that are 800 pixels, so you can change it here. And then you click apply, and okay, and you have to synchronize this with QField Cloud if you want to use it that way. Well, that's all I wanted to share in this video today. I hope the video was helpful to you. If so, please leave me a like, and also please consider subscribing to my channel to keep watching more videos about GIS. Thank you.